This is Sparkle, a harmony unit whose primary purpose in a team is to buff your other units. However, is it even possible for such a unit to hit 100,000 with a single basic attack? I'm not talking about weakness break, but a single Q that does over 100,000 on an enemy within the memory of chaos. As a unit without any other attacks, could it be possible for her to turn into a DPS threat? To begin, I decided to see exactly how much damage Sparkle does with her usual gear without any buffs or any changes to her set. As such, I threw her into the memory of chaos to see exactly how much damage she does.
Better surrender while you have the chance. The game is on.
Based on her current gear, she does exactly 1097 with a single basic attack. This means we have to roughly increase her damage by 91 times. It isn't exactly that easy to do so, but with this, I started to consider her team compositions. Out of the current units available, I believe that there are only a few that can be used beside her to turn her into a damage threat. From Harmony units, this would include Bronya, Tingyan, Yukong, Hanya, and Ran Mei. As from Nihility units, realistically only Pela and Silver Wolf with their defense shred could be used. Out of these units, I decided that Silver Wolf would definitely be in the team. After all, defense shred at full capacity would definitely help as it would increase the damage by 110%. This also helps me stray away from the attack, damage, and critical damage buffs that I would be getting from other units, as it is well known that stacking of these buffs would reduce the efficiency of them. However, in order to get the defense shred to full capacity, just having Silver Wolf isn't enough. With her ultimate, she can reduce 45% of the defense, and with her talent, she could further reduce the defense by 8%, meaning that this is a 53% defense shred by herself. This means that I would need to obtain another 47% defense shred elsewhere. Fortunately for me, my Sparkle is at E2. Every talent stack would allow 8% defense shred on enemies. This could be stacked 3 times, meaning that could be an additional 24% defense shred, allowing me to reach 77% with just 2 units. But with this, Pela is definitely out of the team, as adding her would cause the defense shred to go above 100%. As for why Pela wasn't chosen in the first place, Sparkle's major Trace Nocturne grants more attack to quantum units if there are additional quantum units in the team. As such, this further provides an additional 15% attack to Sparkle if Silver Wolf is used. For the remaining defense shred, out of all the units that could be used, only Ran Mei could provide defense shred. At E1, Ran Mei's ultimate would provide an additional 20% defense shred, meaning that the total defense shred would reach 97%. In addition, Ran Mei herself is quite beneficial to the team, as her ultimate also provides all-type Raise Pen, which is still quite a rare buff that the other units cannot provide. As such, I decided that Ran Mei would be the third unit to the team. With this, I only had one unit choice left between Bronya, Tingyan, Yukong, and Hanya. Just by looking at the units, Bronya was the obvious choice here, as she provides massive damage, attack, and critical damage buffs to the team. Furthermore, based on prior experimentations, I knew that Bronya was the strongest buffer left here. As such, I decided to use Bronya for the final team members. With the team composition complete, I decided to go for another run to figure out how much damage Sparkle could do with all the buffs, as well as understanding the proper rotation to maximize her damage.
I wonder what that is.
Show your courage. Watch this. 100% grip.
Existence is unity.
The game is on.
Some value, I suppose.
Can I have fun this time? Time for a buzz. This battle is unavoidable. Lend me your strength. Troublesome. Let's play for a while. Don't move. You'll pay for this. Lend me your strength. This combat needs a... This is double speed. Did that hurt?
Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Let's play. Can you find the answer? We've entered the storm. To guard and defend. Crush them.
With all her buffs, she had 2,795 attack, 19.2% crit rate, 281.8% crit damage, and 228.5% quantum damage, along with the 97% defense shred. With this, her basic attack dealt 15,178 without crit, again and again.
One eternity later.
I swear to God, I didn't manage to get a single crit in over 20 attempts. But while attempting these runs, I further optimized her rotation. Instead of using her skill to buff Bronya's crit damage, and using Bronya's ultimate to buff back Sparkle's crit damage, I buffed Sparkle using her skill instead. This made Sparkle's crit damage jump up to 370.3%, while keeping everything else the same. Finally, a single crit made it through.
Some value, I suppose.
This combat needs... This is double speed. You took the bait. Time for a buzz.
Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Let's... Can you find the answer? This battle is unavoidable. Lend me your strength. We've entered the storm.
With this new setup, I finally managed to hit a crit with Sparkle's basic attack, dealing 73,012 damage. This meant that without considering the light cones and relic sets, it's quite close. But because of the Memory of Chaos's buff of 50% basic attack, I wanted to see if it was possible to do it while minimizing the amount of things that I would change. I first took a look at the light cones for each unit. For Ron May, the best choice was still her signature light cone, as she would not move before Sparkle due to Bronya being the one boosting her forward. The only light cone choices I had for her was Past Self and Mirror, Carve the Moon, Weave the Clouds, and Chorus. With these selections, Past Self and Mirror was the one that undoubtedly stood out, as the 24% damage bonus was guaranteed and was much higher than the rest. For Bronya, since she was the one boosting Sparkle forward, it was pretty much always going to be, but the battle isn't over for the damage boost for the next ally. Although looking at it, Past and Future at S5 does increase more damage, but the light cone itself wasn't leveled up. As for Sparkle, there really only was one choice, which was Earthly Escapade due to the crit damage it provides, as well as the fact that it is a 5-star light cone, meaning that it had the highest ATK stat out of all the Harmony light cones, since all the 5-star light cones had the same ATK stat. And lastly, for Silver Wolf, none of the light cones really buffs damage for other units aside from Incessant Rain and Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat. However, I felt that a 3% Defense Shred addition due to Defense Shred being at 97% already from Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat wasn't going to overcome the 12% increased damage of Incessant Rain, hence, I stuck with Incessant Rain. This meant that there wasn't going to be any changes to the light cones used. With this, I could only hope that the damage increase could be sufficient with only the relic changes. Since I wanted to reduce the amount of changes made, I opted with changing relics one by one, till it finally reached 100,000 in damage. This is the run that finally succeeded in hitting 100,000. With this run, I only moved around 3 relic pieces. First, Sparkle swapped planar spheres with Silver Wolf and obtained a 29% crit damage Quantum Sphere. Second, I moved Sparkle's energy regeneration rope to Bronya, so Bronya has a bit more crit damage. Lastly, I placed an attack rope with crit damage onto Sparkle. Needlessly to say, this team failed to actually clear the memory of chaos since there was no sustain and basically no damage aside from Silver Wolf. But regardless, I still succeeded in my challenge of hitting 100,000 with Sparkle. It was kinda a weird challenge to take on, but I was just curious if it was ever possible. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thanks. Final build used will be shown at the end.